Smith. I work at Flipkart.
Hi guys, I'm Srihari. I'm a partner at Nilenzo.
Okay, we are going to talk about impact. So what do we mean? So let's start with a question. As programmer, what are the problems we face? So looking at this, aside from that, maybe in the worst case, we have to quickly fix a bug on production, or maybe a really quacky client comes up with a requirement which is very hard to fulfill, or our code quality or our test suite is so big, like Chad said yesterday, that it takes a long time to finish. But these are the kind of problems we face generally. But let's see, what are the problems do people in rural India face? So let's start with that. Food. So I'm sure all of us enjoy this really good lunch there, bhuna gosh, chicken chettinad, paneer makhni. We will also get a tea break soon enough, I'm hoping. But what about the people out there? They don't even get a square meal once a day. People in India really have accepted the fact that they don't get water to bath in the rural areas. They somehow manage it with the drinking water they get. It's really not clean, but they somehow manage. Shelter. Vijay told me a fact today that 60% of population in India do not have a toilet. They don't have access to a toilet. So let's not even get about anything else. And education, this is something very personal to me. Where I come from, it's even lucky to people study up till 10th standard. So my question is, how many of you have written a line of code which has impacted life in some way? I'm not saying a big way, but a meaningful way. Can anyone show their hands? Yeah. And how many of you really want to help them out? Only this many? Like, this is really sad. Okay, so you really want to help them out, and this is how you can do it.
Right. So this is essentially what we heard about. A few of us at Nilenzo and previously C42 have been fortunate enough to work on the survey project. And I'm going to leave it to this. We have 6,000 people who have been impacted by the first run of this project. This thing is open source. I'm going to leave this slide for you guys to look at. And we've 5 big cities, 6,000 people, kids, pregnant women with the nutrition survey. Right? This was the first run. And there was another one that went to people, women, in the agricultural side. And there are 3,000 families who have been helped. And a single fact that's going to help you understand where we are with this. Look at the last 3 lines in the slide. Basically, these are the inferences that have been drawn based on the data here, that is 6,000 records from here, and 3,000 families, that roughly are again about around 6,000 records here, right? So that's so much data coming in, and inferences drawn across surveys. Technically, like, why are we presenting this here, and what do you people have to do with it? Apart from this, like the technical, like the number of apps and whatnot, there is so much data coming in, right? The last thing that we have in our roadmap is a separate Clojure app to take care of the big data stuff. And like, personally, I have spent hours of my time looking at the UX in this thing. So these apps have to go down to the last mile, down to people's homes where there's no internet, right? And they have like 1 hour of internet in a week, and then there's so much data integrity problems that you have to deal with as well. And sadly, over the last month or so, this has come to a slow stop, and we have not had the time to work on this. But I'm hoping that a lot of people here do have some time to spare. Send us a pull request, whatever it takes. These are the people we really care about. We write algorithms to bring down our performance from 0.01 seconds to 0.001 seconds, and that's all we have, right?
So I'll wrap it up really fast. So let's not always write code to help these people out with our wonderful projects like Bundler, Rails, Ruby Gems, and other languages. Let's also help these people out as well. Maybe give them a boost. Because I really believe we don't all have to be Bill Gates to help these people out. With our own skills, we can contribute to and write technical projects that could help them out. And yeah, this is where you can find the projects and start contributing. Thank you.
Yeah. You can catch any one of us after the talk if you want to help us out. Thanks.
So next up we have Kashyap on the stage.
Yeah.
Time starts now.
Hi everyone. Today I'll be talking about Sinatra basic introduction. Probably everybody knows this, but more importantly I'll be talking about how to write an extension in Sinatra. So the basic structure of Sinatra is this. There is a request class that extends from rack request, response that extends from rack response. Extended rack is basically for the things that are not in rack, and so they define extra methods there. There is a common logger which extends from rack common logger, and this is the main part base. So there are actually three ways to extending Sinatra. The first one is extensions. The second one is the second one is helpers, and the third one is middleware. I won't be talking about middleware. Probably there is a lot of material over that. But the extensions and helpers, I found it difficult to use them, so I've kind of made a small presentation here. So the first difference between helpers and extensions is that in help, you use a helper or you write a helper if the functionality is required in the get method or post method or any other blocks that we use. So inside a route block, the extensions are for extending the functionality of Sinatra itself. So, for example, inside a get block, if I have to return JSON response every time, so I can make a function like this, JSON A, and so it basically converts that hash into JSON string. So the implementation is this. You write it in a module called helpers. You define the method, you pass in, and it basically returns the string. And you include your helpers in your app file. So to write this as a gem, you have to put that under a namespace of Sinatra, then use the module, the same code as above. And these two are the magic things that actually happen. So base.helpers is almost similar to adding helpers JSON inside your app file. So and base.set is basically, it sets the JSON content type, sets the request response content type to JSON by default for every request. So the other thing, the major portion is extensions. So in extensions, Sinatra provides extensions to let's say if you want to define a new route. So you can do that by extensions. I'll demonstrate a small thing, small route actually. So I created this extension today. So I have a module Sinatra, I have this super module, and this is an extra route. So this the route method is provided by Sinatra base, and I'm extending that so that every request that you make to this endpoint with a method request of this one, instead of get or post, it will return something pretty good. So start it up. And yeah, so that's what it does. So no, you don't have to clap for that, it's lame. No. So the basic difference between these two is that this is an extension of Sinatra. This route is not defined, but we are defining that route. We are using the things that are provided by Sinatra, and we are basically extending. So the register method is a method provided by Sinatra, where whatever module you define have to be registered with Sinatra, so that every app that you use, and like this. So every app that you use, you just call register, Sinatra, that one, and I've defined my route. Instead of get / I've used Dog or Doge, and it returns this. So the basic difference is that it's like if you want to extend, so there are these two things, and I think that's it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time
So,
starts now.
this is Bilal. I'm Avinash. We are from Mumbai RB. So, I just want to tell all of you guys and introduce you to Mumbai RB. We have total completed 7 meetups till now. So, we are on our way to have a big meetup soon, maybe in June or later. But till now, we have a frequent audience of 10 to 20 people always there. We have 1 or 2 talks. We have a single hack session once. That was for Brails. We were not able to push anything, but we were able to discuss few things, and we were able to interact with each other and know what all everyone knows. So there is a mindset about Bombay that Bombay is costly. Bombay has very few jobs and all this stuff. But I can say that nowadays, with so many startups starting up, the salaries are very good, I guess, currently. So just I want to tell you that you should shift to Bombay. If you are born and brought up in Bombay, you should definitely come back to Bombay rather than going to Bangalore and Pune, because, yeah, I know the intellectual level at Bombay is little lower as compared to Bangalore or Pune, but we need to change that, and we want guys like you to come back to Bombay who are born and brought up in Bombay and increase the status of Bombay to a level which can compete with Bangalore and Pune itself. So I want Bilal to say a few words about the same.
Actually, I just interacted with some of the peers here, and I found out that they didn't even know that there are some developers in Mumbai, like who knows Rails or something. So we just came here to give a lightning talk that, oh, dude, we exist there. There are some people who are trying to make a dent, not in the universe, but at least in Mumbai. So we are. That's what we are putting all our efforts like, and that's what as my Avinash said, that we are about to complete first anniversary for Mumbai IRB. That's what we are now making the name out of it. So we are creating at least a small event which we all are looking forward to. So that's all we have. And Mumbai RB is alive, and it will be.
Hey guys, this is Satya. I'm from Hyderabad, and I basically want to talk about technology meetups. I've been part of some technology meetups for quite some time, and to be very straight, I was a little upset with the way they go. So, and fortunately, I've been in touch with some of the technologists these days, and they've revived the hope in me. So, I just wanted to share some of my learnings and how can we make better use of these technology meetups. By the way, I'm Satya Kalu, and our group is a Hyderabad Ruby, so you can follow us there. So the first thing is, I believe there are 2 kind of meetups for me, the universe. Okay, there are 2 really kind of different meetups. A is technology meetups, which we need to consider them as absolutely local. It's like you and me catch up together in the next house or the next coffee house. It doesn't have to be as big as this in Hotel Atria. So it's a technology meetup where, it's a local thing, and and it's focused. It doesn't have to be as wide agenda as this. It could be as simple as a bugathon. It could be as simple as learning a new gem, or it could be anything, basically, a small, local focused. And there are other ones which are technology conferences. These are bigger ones where, it's like one of the organizers said, meet communities and sub-communities, atoms and molecules, right? So these small technology meetups, they come up together and create these bigger conferences, regional ones, which have a wider agenda. So my problem is, about the technology meetups. The conferences are going good. GCRC is an example for it. They're doing an awesome job. But how can we improve the technology meetups? Whenever I catch up with folks at the lunch place or something, majority of them say, my meetup gets only 2 attendees, 3 attendees. So, over a period of time, I've just found out certain items, which if we address them properly, I think the local technology meetups are going to be kick-ass. Yeah. So... So, basically, I want to let you know what are technology meetups, first of all, and why are they for. Technology meetups are absolutely for techies to collaborate, learn, contribute, share knowledge. So these are local ones, so do understand, these are only for us techies. They're not for the job seekers or not the employees. So whenever there's a technology meetup going, and if you need a Rails developer, please do not go there. And if you're looking for a job, don't go there. Just let's not pollute these small local meetups. They are for technology peers to basically go there, share knowledge, and solve each other's problems and become better in technology. The last two are acceptable for conferences like these, where these are big things where there are networking opportunities and tech meetups and everything. But for local meetups, let's stick to technology. That way, everybody who comes, knows what's going to happen. It's technology. This is Rails, which I love. I come here to learn Rails. And while participating, the following 6 things are the most important things which I would recommend everybody to follow. The first thing is identity. Most of them whom I see don't have an identity on Twitter, don't have an identity on Stack Overflow, even Meetup. I see some of them say +5. Now, what the heck does +5 mean? Who are the other 5 guys? So it would be nice if they have identities. That way, I might want to communicate with that 5th guy. I don't need to contact this first guy, right? So, and you are going to create your identity. Somebody needs to contact you directly. It creates an open channel. And as one of the speakers said, you are going to create an identity and then a brand. So this is the first step. So create an identity for yourself on Twitter, Stack Overflow, and everything. It adds authenticity to the group. 2 persons catch up in a meetup doesn't make sense, but 2 + 5 is 7. So when 7 people really catch up in a meetup, I think it adds a lot of authenticity to the group. When you guys have your own Facebook account, why not have your own Stack Overflow account? I don't get it. The next thing is RSVPs. I see many RSVPs, like even our Hyderabad Ruby meetup group has 35 RSVPs, but only 4 of them turned up. So take your RSVPs seriously, because there are people like, Vivek and, all these people who take these meetups very seriously. And there might be some people who buy beers for everybody who come up. And when 31 beers are left over, nobody's going to buy them. So please take your RSVP seriously. That adds authenticity to the group. Okay. So, and the next thing is attendees. Don't wait for 10 or 20 people to really, come to a meetup. You just need one other guy to listen to you, and you can create a meetup, and you guys can really discuss about technology. The next thing is Stack Overflow. Just share and contribute. You don't have to really, for you to really become a good meetup guy, I think at least spend every day 15 minutes on Stack Overflow. Don't just find answers, but answer the questions. This I've learned from Swanan. This guy has some 6,000 bloody points on Stack Overflow. I have some 1,200, that's it. So I've learned from it. So become a better contributor. You'll become really confident, and you'll become a different person. You can also contribute at GitHub. If you don't know which GitHub module to really contribute, go for CodeTrage. It gives you good popular libraries to really help. And do you have an idea? Stop working on it. First, learn better technology, and then, you can definitely work on the product. And the last thing is, spread the word. This guy is already on me. So spread the word. Go for Facebook. You can use Facebook too, and you can also use Twitter. So spread the word and make these technology meetups a good thing. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Before I start, big thumbs up for the guys who started off. It's great to see, technology people, developers who care about social issues. And here I am to talk about Milap, which is also a social enterprise. And I'm just going to talk about what Milap is all about and how you can help. Right. So Milap is a crowdfunding platform for communities in need, which is powered by Ruby on Rails. So we are a hardcore Ruby on Rails shop, and we bridge the gap between people who are in need of help and people who want to help. Right? So let's quickly look at what that means. So I'm sure all of us want to do good. We want to help others. But when it comes to helping others with financial aid, a lot of us are hesitant because we are not sure, our hard-earned money, when we give it to someone, is it going to be used in the right way? Is it the right person I'm going to give this money to? So Milap tries to bridge this gap, right? So Milap has a set of profiles uploaded on our website, which are across various kind of causes, and you can filter through various criteria and choose them. And it helps you make an informed decision about whom you want to help, right? So this is how it bridges the gap between people who want to help and people who are in need of help. How it works? It's very simple, just 4 steps. As I said, the first step is you look at the various causes and various filter criterias and choose the person you need to help, you want to help, and make a loan on Milap website. This is just an online payment that you do. The real test starts afterwards, right? So the whole business is about trust and transparency. Can you trust Milap that the money is going in the right hands? Another big thing when it comes to helping others is donations. There is this hesitancy that, my hard-earned money is going away. Whereas what you do on Milap is not a donation, but a loan. That means you help one person. Let's say a person needs 10,000 rupees to build a toilet. You contribute just 500 rupees out of it. But that 500 is not a donation. Within a year, month on month, you get back an EMI and all your 500 rupees back to your account within 1 year's time. And then you can utilize the same thing to make an impact on someone else's life. So this is what we call as making an impact again and again with the same money. And of course, if you start believing in the idea, you start putting in more money in helping others, right? So this is the 4 simple steps: choose a customer, make a loan, get repaid, and relend. How can you help, right? Of course, the obvious thing is, check out our website. If you like the idea, like us on Facebook, tweet about us, or write about us on your blog. We also have a widget which you can put on your blog saying that you support Milap. But if you want to do even more, right? Obviously, you can actually be an active participant on our website. Go and make a loan to someone there today. You could also do something interesting. I think one of the best gift ideas that you could have is to gift a Milap gift card to someone. That is, you are gifting someone the ability to help someone and repeatedly keep doing it. Right. Finally, you could also start a campaign. If you want to go really big, you could adopt a particular borrower on the website or adopt a particular cause and decide to raise some funds to impact that particular cause. So you can decide to raise some money for education. Let's say you're running a marathon, we can put up a page for you and help you raise a sum of money through that event. But, right, I'm sure many of you would think this guy is coming here talking about some company, Milap, in 3-4 minutes. Why should I go ahead and do anything about it, right? So the proof of the pudding is in its eating, right? So what we want you is to first get a real first-hand experience about what Milap is and how it helps people, how much you can trust it, how transparent it is, right? So we are right now giving away free Milap credits worth 500 rupees. Anyone who wants to try out what Milap is without spending a buck from your pocket can use this gift code GCRC14, which is same as our Twitter hashtag as well, and you'll be able to make a loan on Milap just by using those 500 rupees. You just click on lend button, and when it comes to actually making a payment, just redeem the coupon, and you're good to go. Right? Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Shirish.
Houston, can you copy me? Okay, so I don't have slides. So I'm Sarup. I'm 19. I'm still in college. So over the last summer, I did a Google Summer of Code with Fedora project. And I built this GitHub for designers. So I thought I would pitch that here so that you could know about it. And I saw that there are some design-oriented startups here, so they could probably give me feedback. So the idea is that when designers collaborate, especially open source designers, they go to mailing list and they share links. And so let's say Kobe decides to make this banner. So he starts with the logo, and he puts it on Imgur and shares a link on the mailing list. And people go +1, cool, oh, this is awesome. And everybody gets that link. It's pain in the ass. So this is kind of very, it's like spam. It's also annoying, and there's no nice way to understand designer feedback. So how it helps is, Glitter Gallery is not live right now, but I'll get it up soon. So right now what you can do there is you can go create a new design project just like GitHub, and you can create SVG files, or you can upload your own SVGs or PNG or JPEG or whatever. So after that, so let's say he created the same thing inverted in color.
and he can post it there, and he can share links with his friends, and anybody else on the app can log in, and he can comment over there. So cool, +1 and all that. So some comments make sense because these comments are nice, they make you feel good. But there are certain comments which could say that, okay, if you're going to project this won't be visible properly. So he can mark such comments as issues. They go to an issue tracker, and somebody else can fork the project, so it becomes theirs. They can make changes to it and send back pull requests to the original designer. So he can, pull back, and so design projects can flourish that way. And also we have a feature called glitter posts. So something like, maybe like Medium, where you can go and explain what design process you went through. So every time you make a new change, anytime you update, there is a commit happening in the background. So we use the Grit library provided by GitHub. They use the same thing. So every instance has a commit ID and all that. So you can reference commits. So you can go there and say, I started with this file. This is the idea behind it. And now next we did this. This is how it went. So it also serves as a nice way to learn. Also maybe a nice way to judge designers' thought process. So I would just like to ask if any of you work with designers or are designers yourselves, what could be some better ways to collaborate, and how else could I extend this project? By the way, this is open source, and next summer for Google Summer of Code, we might be taking around 2 people. So if there are any students here who would like to contribute, you can ping me later. Thanks.
That I have to read. Thanks, Quinic, for the opportunity to be here. First of all, because they sent us here just to sponsor and represent Quinic. It happens that I land in this company and I start to work with them as a programmer, and I have a lot of difficulties to adapt my German mindset to the Indian mindset, and still having difficulties. So I'm still not understanding things, and I'm trying deeply. So, but I want to advise or talk about what were the things that I face here. First thing that I want to advise is that this is open source world. Open source world means there is no one willing to teach you. You have to teach by yourself. And the code is there. Please open libraries and read libraries, not read what is the code inside and not what the documentation says, because documentation can be outdated. So with this, I will advise that you need to handle your own will and what is the consequences. So you need to be able to know the difference between what you want and what the project wants. This is for people that work either for projects, companies, or by freelancers. And you need to think about the consequences. You need to think about what is the impact of this code, what is the maintenance of this code, and what is the purpose of this code. So think about that before writing the first line of code. The second thing is setting order and priorities. So I found that it's somehow some people want to rush to the finish just to find a solution, and most of the time without understanding what the problem is. Spend 2-3 days thinking what the real problem is, what is the thing that you have to solve, and then solve it. It will become easier in time. So mostly for maintenance. The other one will be humble. Not be humble in the street saying, I'm not so, or I'm not so. Be humble with your code. So don't try to solve big problems, solve small problems. So don't focus on the solution and the feature that you want to generate. Focus in the method that you're generating. Make it consistent, make it small. I'm trying to go because there is a lot of stuff. I will jump the barrier of the programming to the culture one. I'm sorry, I will say, clients are not gods. So you can be against them. So it's allowed. You're allowed to be against them. Meaning, I don't want to take this seriously, but meaning with this, you are allowed to say no, you are allowed to say scopes. Saying, we are not allowed to do this. We need more time, or we need these resources where we don't have. So please take in mind this, because this is a huge impact for the company owners, for the people in project managers. project managers are waiting, I'm expecting something for you, and if you are not delivering on time, or what they're expecting, you're breaking big rules. It's not a small thing. You're breaking big rules. With this, I want to add, you need to be predictable. Whatever you do, make it predictable for the project manager, for the company owner, for the client. Meaning, if you're doing something that you know that will be wrong, just tell it. It will be wrong. But make it predictable. So not make people wait for you to see what it will happen. 1 minute more. Okay, I just jumped. So I will say, after coming here, I'm just seeing the huge effort you are doing to working in open source. I have seen, sadly for me, that some books are more expensive of what juniors earn in 1 month. So that's broke my heart so way, because I'm able to buy, in Europe, we're able to buy books as something without side effects, and here people that gets his first job, for them it's impossible. I mean, the book is twice what they earn a month. So with that, it is impossible. I know that it's impossible to learn. So I really admire the courage that you have to come here. I know the price that you're paying for coming here. I know the effort that you're doing, and I will like to say that I really admire that. And yeah, my time is over. This guy has an Android with him, so I'm better run.
Okay, so I'll just go with this and then see if I can. So what I'm going to do is the time I have, I'll try to sow some doubts in your mind and then make you go back and think about some of the things that you've believed about. So I'll talk about my experience working with Active Record and why I think is a very bad thing for building business applications. So Active Record is good when you're building web applications, shallow web applications that have a database and some rich UI on top of it. But when you are trying to build business applications that have a lot of heavy logic, it's not a good thing to do. I'll briefly talk about why it's not such a good thing. One of the most problematic things about Active Record is it's so much coupled with databases. So when I am trying to solve a problem that is very business logic heavy, I tend to put decisions that are difficult to reverse later. The database schema is something that is very difficult to reverse. Active Record makes you do that upfront. Any model that is tied to Active Record, you can't write tests without connecting to database and all that. You need to define schema upfront, which I think is troublesome. So it kind of makes it difficult to decouple the core business logic from the framework. Most of the stuff you're writing is tightly coupled with the framework. Something new comes up, you need to rewrite the entire thing. There's nothing that you can take to that new framework. There are other things like, so whenever you encounter situations which were not thought of when the framework was designed, there are no points there to allow you to extend. There's no easy way to customize the ID generator logic. There's no easy way to incorporate composite keys. So the project I was working on, we needed to use MySQL partitions. So I can't use MySQL ID generation. I have to use auto composite keys, and there was no easy way of doing it. There's a plugin that provides composite key support. If you go look at the implementation of that, you'd be scared to use it. So it's like gorilla patching, monkey patching to the extreme. So it kind of like highlights some of the problems how the framework has been written. And there are other features that I like in other OR mapping frameworks, like you load a bunch of objects, do something on it, at the end they all get persisted to the database. So automatic dirty checking, transaction right behind. Then there's something called as persistence by reachability. I create an order line items, all this stuff, aggregate, save, and it saves everything. So limited support for things like that. These features are very important when you're trying to follow these practices, domain-driven design. So you need to work in terms of aggregates. So you need to decouple your persistence logic from your business logic. All that is very, very hard to do if you're using Active Record. So there are some alternatives. So Data Mapper is a framework, but I think it's become stagnant. There's a new version of it called Ruby
ORM, I don't see a release for that as yet. So those are some alternatives that you can look at. Or, look at something in other languages. So these are based on my observations working with ActiveRecord for the last 5 months. I'm comparing it with the 8 years I've spent working with Hibernate. And this looks like a toy compared to what that can do. Thank you.
So, a few really good talks, heavy talks. I'm going to keep this light. So initially I thought I'll talk about continuous learning. But before going there, I wanted to talk about what happens if you don't learn continuously. So we have been doing interviews for quite some time. And these are a few gems I've heard while doing interviews. So I asked a question. Which programming language do you like? Imagine the answer. Come on. No, I program in Rails. Go read rubyonrails.org. You'll find something different. Someone asked me, why shouldn't I use Goto? After all, language supports it. Do you know anything about psychometric complexity? Do you know what other features language supports, which are really bad programming constructs and you should generally avoid? Go read about that. So I started the interview. I spoke about hey, we have been hearing a lot about we should have skinny controllers and fat models, and there was a huge buzz about it. Then we went and said that, no, we actually need thin models. So where do I write my business logic? And I got a response. Helpers. I asked someone, how do you scale your application? I got a response. I don't have to, I deploy in cloud. I asked someone, can you talk about GC? GC, garbage compiler, let's talk about it. I asked someone, why is encapsulation important? I heard, because the book says data security is important. And last but not the least, I heard this actually. I don't believe in learning in my personal time because I believe in work-life balance. Now, my answer to that person is, this is the doctor at roadside. Are you going to go to him or are you going to go to him? You want your doctor to continuously learn and understand his medical practices and essentially keep up with the latest technology. You're a software programmer. You have to do the same. You cannot afford to fall behind the stream. You have to keep learning. How do you keep learning? Lots of books are out there. How many people have read Pragmatic Programmer's Journeyman to Masterman? How many have read it twice? This is a book you should read every year. It's a brilliant book. Coding Horror, Clean Code, wonderful books. Read different blogs. Learn different language or paradigm, because what you learn there, you can essentially translate into your understanding of programming itself and maybe bring some parts in your actual code. But just reading these things are not important. Understanding the concept behind is important. Where do you understand the concept? Maybe you can go read c2.com. How many people know that? What is c2.com? It's the first wiki. And then maybe you can go to c2.com. And maybe you can go to c2.com again, because that's a brilliant, brilliant site. And the most important thing, contribute to open source. We hear a lot about, hey, you should contribute to open source because, give back to the community, it's fun. But there is one major aspect of contributing to open source, which is learning, self-learning. And that is something which I have done a lot. How do you start? You start by reading code. Read what other people are writing. That's first step in understanding how to write better code. Essentially, it allows you to pair with good people across the globe and get their feedback about your code, talk to them about their design, their understanding of programming. So it is a wonderful tool. Find a mentor if possible. And don't just stop there. You have to actually go and become a mentor and teach someone what you have learned. So yeah, that's it.